I can go through all these studies and I can do all that. And y'all heard it. But don't we all have a sense of right and wrong? Don't we have that radar? Does everybody agree? We have that radar of what's right and what's wrong? I mean, their first medical expert of the largest corporation in the world, they brought in here. And that guy said, you remember him? He's sitting here with Mr. Copeland, they brought him out, Dr. Copeland, they brought him out of town. Nobody disagrees with me. Nobody in the world disagrees with me as a gynecological oncologist. Nobody disagrees with me at the Ohio State University. Except he forgot to check with his boss. Right? Remember that? I mean, they are the largest corporation in the world. And they bring their first medical expert up in here and lies to you like, I mean, unbelievable. I mean, what does that say? I mean, what are we dealing with here? I have to represent people like Ms. Giannecchini. I don't have time for lawyer games. I don't have time for it. I've got sick women that I am dealing with that have their lives on the lines. Sorry, Deborah, I have to talk very frankly about this. But I don't have time for lawyer games. I don't have time to put little bottles up on the table and do all that stuff. I don't have time for it. Their first medical expert of the largest corporation in the world brought up a liar in here. Think about that for a second. And then, Dr. Mickelson, I don't have any problem with you, but she came up here and testified as Johnson & Johnson employee, and then we brought a lady from Wisconsin that was not being paid by me and said everything she said was a lie. I can't believe she's sitting in the courtroom, to be honest with you. It makes me disgusting. That's the largest corporation in the world.
Your Honor, Johnson & Johnson Consumer is not the largest corporation. It's just misstating facts.
Can I proceed?
Record will speak for itself.
Can I proceed? They're supposed to be leading the world. That's your beacon of corporate America. Seriously? Seriously? I mean, is that what you want to lead the world right there? I don't think so. All right, let's talk about the evidence. At 50,000 feet, in 1982, Dr. Kramer came out with the first study. Told him to warn. The toxicologist from Johnson & Johnson went and met with Dr. Kramer. He said, put a warning on your product. You get that? Right? Study after study after study came out. Warn. Your product causes cancer. You saw the internal documents. I'm not going to go over them again. I'm going to show you some highlights in a minute. But y'all saw them, didn't everybody see them internally? You know, it's kind of funny. You come to court and you're trying to get out of a products liability lawsuit and you say one thing to a jury. But internally, when you don't think anybody's watching, that's when you know the real truth, right? And y'all saw the internal documents. I mean, I don't have to explain all that again. So they were told to warn scientists, when nobody's looking, no litigation, warn, there's no health benefit here. We're not trying to keep people alive with talcum powder. There's a feasible alternative, cornstarch powder. It doesn't cause any harm. You're selling it. But the reason they do it is the face of the company. Every time you see a Johnson & Johnson ad, what do you see? A mom and a baby, right? You've seen it 1,000 times. They sell all kinds of cosmetic products. They sell all kinds of pharmaceuticals. They're a huge medical device company. Giant. They're holding on to an image. I don't have time to hold on to an image when I have to represent people like Deborah. I don't. That does not register with me. I don't have time or patience for that. I've got sick women. And Deborah, I'm sorry I have to say this. She's got a 20% chance of being on this earth 2 years from now. I don't have the time or patience for that stuff. So, where are we? I want to talk about Deborah. That's what this case is about. It's about women like her, who I love, by the way. She is a beautiful woman that's had her insides ripped out, her spleen removed, her colon removed, her insides and ovaries, uterus, everything removed. She has neuropathy from going through chemotherapy. She can't feel, she has no feeling in her fingers or toes. She has bowel issues on a daily basis. We don't talk about that, but think about if you had to deal with that. She goes through a lot on a daily basis and suffers. And it's horrible. And y'all seen the studies, right? I showed you the study back in 1999 that said 10% of all diagnoses and deaths of ovarian cancer are related to genital type. You know who my experts were that I brought in here? Roberta Mills. Dr. Godlewski. You know who they were? They published peer-reviewed studies in the open literature before I ever went to law school. Not some paid expert. Did they bring you an epidemiologist in here? No, because they can't get one. No reputable epidemiologist is going to come in here and defend that company. No one. It's undefendable.